I made the animation you're looking at. But the idea isn't mine. Honestly, I'd even say I copied it almost exactly. And despite that, I can still call this my original work. Before I explain what I mean by that, let me show you what I went through to make this animation. It took me 3 full days to figure it out. And the problem wasn't the technical side, because the animation itself is actually really easy to make. I started by quickly putting all the assets together. I described it to ChatGPT. It generated the image. I turned it into a collage asset in Photoshop. Then I built the red panel in Photoshop and added textures for the collage look. Everything was ready. At first I tried doing it the old-fashioned way. Let the hand release the ball, place the keyframes manually, and somehow make it work. But then I created a whole new problem. I hadn't separated the hand into layers for rigging in Photoshop, so I used puppet pins. I placed pins on the parts that needed to stay anatomically stable. Selected the ones I wanted to animate and created keyframes. Then I shaped the fingers into the ball holding position. The movement looked pretty good, which of course created a new problem. The ball looked fake between the fingers, so I masked part of the finger, added a shadow to the ball, and used Fastbox Blur to create a fake 3D look. Next problem. Once the ball leaves the fingers, it needs to continue moving on its own. But right now, both the hand and the ball are controlled by the same null layer. So at the exact release moment, I duplicated the ball and removed its parent. Now it could move independently. Then I added position keyframes to the ball and duplicated it. I adjusted the keyframes based on where each ball needed to land on the panel. Right after that, I duplicated the hand and started working on how it enters the second scene. I hated my job, so I went to sleep. How am I supposed to create movement this synchronized just by eyeballing it? There had to be some math involved. Just think about how we built the panel. First, we create one triangle and move its anchor point to the exact center of the canvas. Then we do the math. If there are 10 balls, we need 20 panel sections. A full circle is 360 degrees. So I divided 360 by 20. That gave me 18 degrees. Then I duplicated the triangle and rotated each copy in 18-degree increments. 18, 36, 54. And once we reach 360, we have all 20 sections. This taught me one very important detail. For every ball to move exactly the same way, the keyframes and motion curves have to be identical. So first I duplicated the balls and placed them at their starting points. Then I used position keyframes to set the final position for each one. I adjusted the motion curves to give them a clean, smooth arc. Then we add ping pong to the loop out expression, and the movement loops continuously. All the balls were following the exact same movement in sync. At this point, I thought the animation would be done if I arranged the balls' starting points in a circle. And honestly, it looked great halfway through. The final animation looked good too, but it still wasn't what I was trying to make. I'm sure there's a mathematical formula for this. I just kept dragging layers until science happened. And it happened. First, I created the moment where the ball leaves the hand as a separate pre-comp. By the end of that pre-comp, the ball is fully released. After that, I focused completely on the ball layers, and a formula came to mind. One ball completes a full cycle in 2 seconds, so the second ball should start moving at the 2-second mark. But to create the circular pattern, I offset that ball 2 frames backward. The second ball also completes its cycle in 2 seconds, so the third ball enters at the 4-second mark. And to keep the circular pattern, I offset that 4 frames backward. So the final ball enters at the 18-second mark and gets shifted 18 frames back on the timeline. Basically, whatever second we're on, that's how many times we offset the layer. Then we sit back and watch science do its thing. So now you can see why I have the right to call this my original work. I suffered enough for it. But because I openly said I stole the idea from someone else, some people still won't consider this original, and that's completely understandable. Now imagine a completely different situation. I take someone else's finished work, then I change the colors, and call it my own. In that case, yeah, I'm stealing. But that's not what happened here. This video went viral, showed up on my Instagram feed, and I couldn't get it out of my head. And even in real life, pulling off this movement takes skill. So really the only things I stole were the ball and the red panel. Everything else came down to execution. Now imagine this animation as part of a bigger story. The beauty isn't in one specific animation, it's in the visual consistency and the story you're telling. Your brain treats almost everything outside the story as noise. The same thing applies to visual storytelling. That's why most viewers won't stop and trace every detail of one scene back to its source. Maybe the biggest lie we tell creative people is that originality begins with a blank page. It doesn't. Most of the time, it begins with something that refuses to leave your head. Being original doesn't always mean being first. Some of the strongest ideas arrive later. That's what happened here. I didn't invent the ball, the panel, or the movement. I observed them. But don't stop at the surface. Don't just copy the colors, the composition, or the movement. Ask what made the reference work in the first place. Because the goal isn't to prove that every shape, movement, or idea appeared from nowhere. Nothing really works that way. The goal is to take all those separate influences and make them serve one clear vision. Of course, to build a full visual story, you'll need assets. And creating all of that can take more time than the animation itself. But if you're good at writing prompts, I made a mini course that shows you how to create those assets and turn them into animation-ready scenes. It's available to channel members and through the link in the description. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like. See you in the next one.